Okay, so look, I obviously don't want to spoil anything
Please
because the
don't.
entire movie is just ridiculous.
Obviously.
Like you have you seen any random clips of it on? You've definitely seen random
I've
clips on
seen
the.
clips of it,
Have
and
you
I
have
have
you?
I have an opinion, but I want to hear someone who's seen it first because I haven't seen it. I just already have an opinion on it based off clips.
Have you seen like the top five lines in the movie or whatever?
Yes, yes.
But and the reason why. Well, okay, no. First say your thing.
No, no. I want to hear your thoughts first, and then I want to see if mine match up.
Basically, the reason why those things are are just funny as hell is because everything in the Jack Black overdoes it, but like in a hilarious way that kind of like the movie. The reason why it's grossing so much money is because like throughout the entire movie, they're making it clear, at least to me, at least like they're making it clear that it's a joke. Like which sucks because there's a lot of fandom for Minecraft and that they would want like a storyline, all and like something serious, and all that type of stuff. Also, the CGI was insane. Oh my goodness, it was like you could see like the glint of the light from on the blocky bodies.
Yeah. I
It's
saw that from the trailer.
hilarious.
I thought it was gonna be
It
at
did
least good
also
CG.
have its moments for comedy, which was like normal jokes, but the entire movie is just kind of like when you're either overtired, slightly drunk, or just every single thing in that movie is just so ridiculous, but it just mainly stems from Jack Black.
Yeah, the clips I saw basically made it seem like the whole thing was a giant meme.
Literally, like
So that's
the
true?
best pretty
That
much.
sucks.
Honestly,
I hate that.
it started
I hate
like the
that.
singing at the most random, not the most random moments, but just it just, even though it's gonna happen, it just seems random because there's just
That
no build up. It's just like you're like by the scene, you're like, oh, there's a song here, and then it's just like straight away, just boom, just start singing, and it's just. But the thing is, that's what makes it ridiculous, and that's why it's hilarious.
Right.
Along with Jason Momoa being again ridiculous the entire movie, which is again hilarious, but yeah, a bit cringy at sometimes just because we know him for cooler roles.
Yeah.
Like in the movie he's trying to be masculine, but he's just not. And
Gen Z masculinity
I know
thing.
the entire thing.
Ugh.
It's ridiculous. The one thing I do want to applaud it for, in a way, besides the CGI being insane, it's the fact that they make it. You know how movies like sometimes give hints about the characters or whatever that later on play a
Right.
big role in the entire thing. They do this very very well, but a little bit too obvious. You know, like
I could see that.
but
Yeah.
but not too like again you have to see it, but
I honestly don't want to, but I
Like
also kind of want to see it to know like what in the world is going on.
one of the kids is like very very like creative and artistic or whatever, and of course the whole point of Minecraft is to be that. So when in so you basically
What's your name's character? Emma
What?
Myers.
the thing is
I'm
that
assuming?
I don't know. I'm not talking about the girl. I'm talking about the kid, the one that looks like
Oh, the other
the
kid.
one that the one that looks like a baby Timothée Chalamet. And
That's
the thing
perfect.
is, yeah, he has a lisp, so it's the entire movie. You just can't take him seriously.
Wow. Okay, so
Just like, bro, we have to stop. And I'm just like, ah! Oh.
here's what I thought, because I was watching the numbers go up and I saw all the marketing
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh my god, what has happened? And I am just pissed off because
Have you ever played Minecraft?
no.
Same, but
Right, so I don't get
I've
any
seen
of
a
the
lot of
fan
gameplay. I had a
service.
friend that was very very into Minecraft, so I still get the hype and I still get some of the stuff.
But I feel like it's like, have you seen the clips of people in theaters?
Oh,
the
with the
chicken
chicken
jockey?
jockey. Oh my goodness, I was kind of hoping for a
I'm
little bit like
actually
that.
the marketing thing that said something about like bring your own popcorn or bring something for the chicken jockey. I was just
Oh,
like,
my
oh, you're
goodness.
kidding me.
That's ridiculous. I know.
And
Yo,
then-
I saw one of the craziest videos with Chicken Jockey where you know those memes where it's where it just acts like all serene in the background, with some calming music, but the guy or person talking over is just saying the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
So
too.
so
That
someone
also pisses me
someone
off.
says that and he's saying the story about how insane his chicken jockey was, and how there's a guy on standby and there was another person that said that there was that the workers in the movie theater had to have a list on them with not only the times for the Minecraft movie, but the times the chicken jockey happens, so that they have to stand and I quote, like, look menacingly or whatever to try. I don't know, it's ridiculous.
God.
But in my theater, like, you could like, it wasn't too crazy, just like, but like, you could audibly hear like people yelling, not yelling, people's like saying chicken jockey along with myself, just because. Don't worry, I wasn't like, actually. Oh crap, I totally went off topic. So the craziest chicken jockey video I've seen was like people literally not only throwing popcorn, doing all.
Yeah.
Someone went on top of someone else's shoulder and held an actual chicken they smuggled inside the theater itself. Oh my god, it was hilarious, but again, it's
So-
ridiculous.
What I feel like I need to see like behind the scenes stuff or a featurette of like the director or like the people talking about like why they made the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because as right now, I'm just like, whose idea? Like it seems.
Whose
like
idea was this?
It seems like such a money grab, a cash grab.
Oh, for sure. Like any sequel nowadays.
Like I know, but that's what ticks me off. I'm just like,
I know.
where's like I want it to be, oh, it's artsy, oh, there's a thing for it, but I'm just like,
But the entire movie is clear.
Can I
By the
find
way,
it?
they did like, there's two end credit scenes. I only saw one, but then someone sent me the second one. For a, like, that probably a hint to a like a sequel or whatever. I know, but like it's ridiculous. You know what's funny is that even though the chicken jockey is the most known one, but the thing is that there are so many different. The reason why Chicken Jockey was just hilarious is just like the way Jack Black said it, and like, that's
Right,
that's one of the
obviously.
reasons why it made it like so memeable. But the thing is, there are just so many things that Jack Black says almost every
literally.
not line. I mean, actually, you know what? Every line. I'm not kidding. Every line he said it the same way he said Chicken Jockey. It's just like Ender Pearl, and then like
Flint
every
and Steel.
Flint and Steel.
I was just like,
And then people are making like all these memes
every
on
line
it.
you're just like gonna be a meme.
Oh,
It's like of a 2 and
Literally.
How
But-
I don't even know how long the movie is. A 2-hour TikTok.
I wish I saw it, but like, like on something, every single and I'm saying this, every single person in that movie was I know it's a movie, and the acting in movies, like, it's definitely not in real life. It's definitely not the same to real life, because it's acting. They have to kind of over exaggerate things anyways. But I'm telling you, the way that it was done, the way people were acting, and the way everything was said and done, every single person in that movie is so on the spectrum. Maybe like besides one or two characters, and then even at the end, like, at the end of the movie, like, just something ridiculous, like, they're like happens, and I don't want to say it. It's just like and there's just so much I want to say, but I don't want to spoil anything.
No. Okay.
Um,
I wanna get more on point about us, as in like actual art, because that's the
Yeah,
point.
for sure, yeah. My bad.
So, no, because I like the good Minecraft. I like good Hollywood drama. I like good movie talk.
Drama. There's no drama.
Not drama, but like
It's
how
ridiculous.
a waste of
Oh.
art. A waste of art, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Something that could have been, I don't know.
The jokes were funny. It had some good moments.
I need to find a reason for it to be a piece of art, and I need some quote for the director who was like, "Oh, I had a vision for this Minecraft movie," although I really doubt that exists.
the vision. He was probably high as balls then. He was just like, I have a vision.
There's no
How
way.
about anything slightly related to Minecraft? We have Jack Black say,
Boom, money.
but as a quote, or like as intensely.
Yeah. Okay.
I know. I get it.
So
Okay, sorry. One last. I know. One last thing is just before we move the conversation a little bit differently. Have you seen the where they say like Flint and Steel, Chicken Jockey?
Yeah,
like,
I've seen the list of top 10
Not
memes.
not the list, but the way they sing it,
And then it
in
goes
pure,
faster and
in
faster.
pure imagination. Oh, dude, there's a whole meme going around where it's basically you know the song Pure Imagination, like Come With Me.
Oh yeah.
So it's basically like those
Like
three quotes, and someone AI'd it to make it like Jack Black singing Pure Imagination,
Oh,
like Flint and
I didn't see that. I saw a
Steel,
different version of that.
Chicken Jockey. I am Steve. Yeah, and the thing is, as beautiful as it is, it ticks me off because Pure Imagination is just such a good song
I
and it's
know.
beautiful. But the thing is, now every time I hum the tune, I'm just like,
You
oh no!
think of the
I
one.
just think of Jack Black
That's what
making like a
memes
stupid face.
does.
Oh,
Memes ruin good art.
I know. But then,
Memes can ruin good art.
but the thing is, sometimes memes are the good art. Like
Right.
which is what
It's a
makes
fine
memes
line.
are like
It's a
such a
fine line and a
massive
half.
variety.
But let's get to you, at least. Because
Yeah,
you do music.
yeah.
And in that subcategory of music, which is massive.
And I haven't like recorded a song yet. Like although
No,
it's
but
something
my
I do
goal
want
here
to
is
do.
just to talk to creative people, and you're a creative person.
Ah, bro, stop!
So-
You're making me blush. Ah, I'm gonna match
Oh
my.
no!
Wow! So remorseful. Come on, at least try to sound sarcastic.
That was failed
That's
sarcasm.
That's
Failed sarcasm.
Wow!
Clip that.
How mean do you have to be to not even put in the effort for sarcasm? That's like a whole new level of
Yeah. I have to get better at this thing.
Uh,
But so okay, I'll just ask you: how creative do you think you are?
uh, hmm. How creative? Like the thing is that you can never put it on a spectrum because what do you mean creative? Like, in comparison
that's a
to
good
what?
point. That's a very
Yeah,
good
like
point.
in comparison to
Sorry,
what?
it's my first time
comparison-
interviewing someone. Give me a
Yeah,
break.
like
I have no idea.
like carpenters are also very creative as
Right.
well. Like the way they make stuff, the way they measure things. Like there's
So,
so many different
okay.
professions that
Here,
require art.
I know what I meant by that. How, how creative do you live? As in, like,
Do I live?
for me, I'm creative enough that like it's in my head or it's in my life everywhere. As in, like, if I'm not doing something, my brain's probably creating something, or like I'll be having an experience doing something, and my mind will be like, oh, this is creative energy.
Hmm. All right.
So between, yeah,
I actually have a very good but slightly deep answer for this.
good point.
Is that is it like I was talking to this couple at the program and one of them is a therapist and she explained how and don't worry I will lead this into how
Go ahead. I love a good story too.
he placed something like a thing in the middle like but then it was just a cupcake because someone gave me a cupcake. I don't know. And then with things around it and he's just like this is like one cup is like your school, one cup is your friends, one cup, and then like these things in your life, and then let's just say for the sake of conversation something let's just something's on your mind because a lot of times I hyper focus on one thing, whether it's good, whether it's bad, so a lot sometimes if I'm thinking about something that's not good or bad and it's just rough, it basically pushes one cup or a different big thing closer, and when that thing is very closer, everything else gets pushed away, creativeness, friendships, school, all that type of stuff seems smaller and farther away because of this one thing. So for me, I feel like I'm the most creative when I'm not thinking about that thing or away from from those people, and it just and it helps bring closer everything else that I hold dear, like art. And so for me, it pops up randomly. A lot of times, I look at an inspirational quote and I'm just like, oh my god, I really wish not wish, I really want to make that into a song or whatever because I like to saying speaking about stuff from inspirational because a lot of times when I'm thinking about a song, it just gets too deep and personal, and I'm just like, hey, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that yet.
No, I know that feeling.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I want to do something more on a broader spectrum in regards to art and creativity, just so that it's a little bit more relatable, and it pops in, and again, it pops in randomly, and I see this quote, and
Basically,
and I think of tunes and riffs, and I'm just like, oh wow, that actually sounds very, very good. And then like I go on a tangent in my head about like a verse or whatever, and then I forget about it later because I don't
Right.
because not only do I not write it down, it's just I didn't depends where I am. Like if I'm in my studio or whatever, I have my ukulele and my piano, so then I think of chords, and then from there, if I feel like it's a very, very good spark and it's a very, very a good idea, and I feel like I could build off of it, then I continue. Like
your creativity comes when you're more of in an open space. Like,
well, yeah.
When your mind's more open to ideas and not being distracted or crowded by.
Yeah, but the thing is, because I'm pretty sure I've like ADHD or whatever, so
As
like
we all
I'm
do.
always hyper. I always feel like crowded. Like so, but again, I feel like that also helps with my creativity because I just bounce around from idea to idea, and like a lot of times the best ideas happen, and when you're not thinking about them. Like
Sure.
like when you're like a lot of times I could be doodling and it just turns out amazing and I'm just like, oh my god, the shading, the this, the that. But then let's say like I take out like a proper notebook and proper pencils and proper this and I try to it.
Right.
It's crap. Like what the hell?
That's so true.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why, it's like a curse, but
Yeah.
creativity comes out so much smoother and easier when you're not trying to.
Yeah. Like
It's almost evil. It's on borderline. Like I'll have, like I sit and write for 5 hours a day over a safe pair, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to survive the 5 hours, right? I'm just working. But that is when
Please,
I
one more word, one more letter, please. I mean, and then you unscroll like when like it's similar to when you like misjudge the last step and then you like fall forward.
Legit.
Like also like you think you're done, but then you unscroll like another massive page. And you're like, oh my goodness.
No, it's more like I finished a column. Okay, that must have taken me a half hour, right? 5 minutes. It's like,
Oh my god, it's like when I'm doing like cardio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like
I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah.
I do cardio.
Stairmasters and like or even like focusing in general. Like when I was studying for my course, like I went through like one page. I'm just like and the thing is, it did take me forever because I was either getting distracted or I was just going through it slowly, and it would just take forever because I feel like totally forgot I was going to go there.
Do you have moments that are like freeing? Because like if I'm doing something that's busying but not too busy, like my writing a secretariat or fixing a secretariat, like because I'm not crazy focused and I'm not moving around that much, so it doesn't take up that much of my brain. So my brain is open. So I just
my brain is braining.
my brain just goes off, and ideas just flow. So I'm like, oh my god, that's genius. Oh my god, I have to like hold myself back my entire workday because I'm just thinking, oh my god, I need to write this down. Oh my god, I want to do this. This podcast.
Meanwhile, if you really want to write it down, you should take your phone out of your goddamn pocket
do.
and open the goddamn notes app.
I have to write down that, and like I need to get back to work.
The thing is, it's just it's much more memorable if like you actually write it down,
Obviously.
which sucks because I have an entire thing of notes in my notes, like full of like inspirational quotes and like like to live by or possible song ideas, which again is literally the name of that note.
Possible song ideas.
Literally, like I could.
I have like 7 of those things, like possible song ideas, film ideas, story ideas. I have an idea for. I think I once wrote down just like an emotion, or something really like random.
Yeah, it's usually when I see YouTube Short or like back in the day I used to listen to this inspirational speaker like named Les Brown. And so recently I saw the short where I'm just gonna say Mr. Bean because I don't remember.
No one remembers
because I don't know the guy's name.
No one remembers YouTube Shorts.
Oh my goodness! No, not the guy. No, that has nothing to do with not remembering the YouTube Short. It's just the guy who plays Mr. Bean, John English. The thing is, I don't know his name. You definitely know this.
I know you look at me in this moment, but
basically,
no, I do not.
He was commenting on not commenting. He was saying that like about a quote that he learned from Charlie Chaplin, which could, by the way, come to think of it, kind of makes sense. Like the character he plays are very, very like expressive physically, and it's to Charlie and it's kind of a reference to Charlie Chaplin because Charlie Chaplin used to do the same thing. Which, by the way, funnily enough, little bit sidetracked. Charlie Chaplin once entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest and placed third.
The fact that he entered isn't the funny part.
Which again, hopefully I won't go off too much of a tangent. It's just that also shows how much people look at other people as opposed to themselves. What they actually are. All right, so back to what I was saying. The quote was, life is a tragedy up close and a comedy in the long shot.
I did hear that.
It's whenever anything. This is something that I actually want to take to heart. Whenever something stressful happens. Just so that I, that
right.
that
it
it's
is
easier
just
to
a
deal
moment.
with. Here's an idea. You have to back away from it, mentally, just to look at it from a different perspective.
Right.
Like missing your flight. Oh, that sucks. But let's say you're watching a movie, and you see the guy missing a flight. You're like, ha, idiot! Show game on time, you piece of garbage.
Okay. That's what it is.
But it's hard to laugh at yourself. So if you missed a flight, you have to be like, huh. I missed a flight. This was definitely fun. Someone on that there was on the way here, not on the way here, on the way to Florida back from Arizona. It was a layover flight, and the first flight took off an hour and a half late because for some reason it weather and I had to stay in the runway. It sucked, but because it was a what's the layover or something like that, we had to go to another gate. Right. We landed while the plane was while the other plane was boarding, and the gate was on the other side of the.
Man.
So we were right there. The thing was, it was also 10 people. There was me, my mother, my brother and sister, and then there was a whole nother family, and then 2 Mexicans. That were flying.
What
and
a
not
clan.
working the plane, which I'm not gonna do much of that. So yeah, then we had to wait. Where that was going. Oh yeah. Also, the plane was literally it was still connected to the gate, but the door was closed, and we literally saw it back away, and I'm like, oh, it's right there. It's right there. It was very, very annoying. Please excuse that. Oh my goodness. So
yes,
back to what I was saying before. If you look at it from even then it was just all right, whatever, right there. It's funny. Again, you're listening to a story and you're like, ha, the plane was pulling out.
When you say this is getting edited. Also, we have 7 minutes. Or we have to pause the video.
We have
reset.
To pause the video.
Otherwise, I don't know what happens. Or maybe it just go. I don't even know.
How do you even know it lasts for only 30? He said that lasts for.
There's a counter.
Counter.
It's literally counting down on the bottom right.
How do you know it's not just a bomb?
It's a bomb.
Hey, I bought this camera from Pakistan, and it's just he clicks record and it goes 10, 9, and you're like, oh, and the red light's still blinking though, so at least you got that correct.
It's recording.
There's actually a story about this Arab kid in this school, he was making a clock. Just because he's into mechanics, that a technical engineer.
You got this.
I don't know the words. He got arrested because they thought it was a bomb. Oh my god, it did look like a bomb though. It did, but the thing was, it wasn't, and it's rough. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So okay, the point was
creativity.
No. But I really like the comedy in a long shot thing.
Yeah.
What? Wow. I really want to. How did we get there?
The quote I said, to help with
the
just so that you have more clarity, just so that you're able to focus on things that you do want to focus on.
Right. That was the point. Focus. So another thing that I'm really trying to figure out is.
Yes.
Yes. I'm
listening. I'm listening.
If
this couch was long enough, I go all and start twiddling my feet. Just I'm listening.
Watch out, your head is out of frame. But
all right.
Okay, but the Jewish I don't know what I'm gonna name this podcast. I have an idea of how I'm gonna name the podcast. I'm thinking of.
I'm gonna show you some. I'm gonna tell you some ideas. Hopefully they're either gonna be super unhinged or stupid.
Okay, so for now, like the original concept was going to be called the Jewish perspective.
Oh, all right. So it depends where we go with this. But the thing is, because we have to like stay on topic on one topic.
No, we don't. It's just the general. I like this chill vibe.
No, it comes. I'm staying on one topic.
No, we're not.
I couldn't even get the sentence out.
We're all ADHD now. No one can stay on one topic.
I'm gonna say no. I feel like Judaism kind of created ADHD just because All right, okay. Think about it.
Clip that. I'm getting that on. We have that on camera.
No, you're not even letting me
put that on a
Let me
t-shirt.
explain it, goddamn.
No, we're America. We just cut you off, taking one sentence, and completely using it in the wrong context.
By the way, yeah, this is why I over-explain. I over-explain things a lot because a lot of times people the second I say something, they're like, oh, and then they walk away, and I'm like, no, and then I feel like an idiot chasing after them, wait, no, like a lost puppy, like, wait, let me finish the goddamn sentence, you piece of shit.
The only other alternative is to completely overload everyone with information all the time. Just be like,
I know, which is why I have to grab the person, like, stay with me. The guy's just like, no, I want to make fun of you to other people, and I'm like, no, you're
no. Listen,
I'm going to finish the explaining.
And you have muscles to scare people, so that's why.
So that you
don't the shirt.
Don't tempt me.
Anyways,
wait, no, I didn't. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure
What were you
I
saying?
explain everything so that you don't, so that you feel stupid.
So what was the line though?
What? So what was
Judaism invented ADHD.
Oh yeah, yes. Basically, all right. Okay.
Went so off topic so fast that we had to explain the line.
This is gonna be a podcast for ADHD.
100%.
Oh my goodness. So
that was so chaotic that last minute.
Okay, now that I have to focus on a specific thing.
Yeah, focus.
No, you can't ask me to do that.
Now that I asked you can't do it.
Oh, of course. Okay, so
it's possible.
They thought, all right. Okay, so what is something? What do all kids from the age 10 to 19 want to do? Obviously, they just want to sit in one place. And just read a book for the entire. The thing is, they have to learn a language to learn it.
And read the book,
not
try and
only
understand it.
Sometimes is it not interesting, you still have to do it. It's not a choice. If you so help you God, if you don't want to do it, you're an outcast. You don't know how to learn, and this is all in your own head because Judaism is very it's gonna go on. I can't say anything too bad about Judaism.
No, it's a fair point.
But yeah, okay, you're sitting at okay. All right.
Everyone knows learning is tough.
That was considered chill. They were like, oh, it's chill. That was only because it was in Florida. Exactly. It's in Florida. It automatically makes it chill. No, it does not. It's the largest break we had was an hour and a half. And breakfast was 45 minutes. Nice. Supper was in an hour, and lunch was an hour and I think hour and 15 minutes, or actually no, I think it was probably just an hour. And no, it was an hour and a half sometimes. No, it was an hour and a half if you left properly. But the thing is, it's not about the breaks. It's about
the 3 hours.
Every second in between all those breaks. You have to get up at 7 because Hasidus was at 7:30. And then not only that, you have to wake up very, very fast because we had to have a van to the mikvah and all that stuff, and it's rough because because of course when everything's done at 9:15 is when my bad. Sometimes my started 9:15. Yeah. So you're only getting back to the dorm around 9:30, 9:45, just depending on how the schedule will turned out or whether it was late. And then depending on what shir you were, shal, shabbat, shir gimel, is when your lights out was, and they were strict with lights out. They were just okay, you must be in your room. In shir gimel, your lights out was 11, 15. Which, by the way, thinking back, it was just all right, okay, that's reasonable. But the thing is that lights out just meant that you partied in your room instead of outside your room.
Right. Go finish up the thought.
But how much longer do you have?
27 seconds.
Crap. No.
I don't know what happens.
Damn.
I don't know what happens after 20 seconds.
Does it explode?
What? Does it?
Yeah, basically, every single second, the second of the day, it was basically just learn.
It's a harsh day.
You had a 5-minute break in between class that was just ridiculous. Kind of felt like college almost. Not that I know what that feels like. Okay, exactly.
Definitely.
What did it say? It said stop recording because limit was.
Cameras have a limit on them
Stop
sometimes.
recording because limit exceeded. That's exactly what I was going for. Literally, that's what kind of breaks some kids because like no, because literally like some guys are not meant to sit for like hours on. Okay, am I out of the game? Not sit for like hours on end. And like the thing is, let's say this. Let's say you don't know how to learn a specific thing, and you still have to do it. And like it's not only hard because like to focus and all that stuff because when you don't understand something, it just becomes automatically like harder and more annoying to focus on. So not only that, you feel like an idiot because most guys do. And the thing is, but even if there's most guys do, there are always like a big chunk of people that just go through the system and just like depending whether or not they find themselves, depending whether or not they go off the derech, which is where Wilkes comes in. Exactly. For
I don't know.
yeah. Wait. So how are you gonna do this? Is it just gonna turn off, and then like you're just gonna still hear me talking, and it's gonna turn back on, like
I'll edit it together.
All right. Okay. Fine. How the hell is that gonna work? Is it gonna do a free?
Podcasts cut themselves off sometimes and then go to sponsor breaks. But I don't have a sponsor yet, so we'll have to figure that part out.
All right.
But to get back on some track, this was explaining how Judaism invented ADHD, which was
to force kids into just and also it's kind of like
my goal was to get us back on track, but okay.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, point is that they were like that we will have to get up early, and by the way, lack of sleep does affect your ability to focus. I kind of say. Also, the food was again not bad, but at the beginning of the day, like in this Masifta, it would sometimes be eggs, but by the way, I should have had more eggs in this. Damn. Damn, no wonder I was
Your brain is on fire right now.
Oh my goodness.
You are like a ping pong ball.
The thing is just instead of going to the other side of the table, it just goes to different table, just different tables. Oh my goodness. All right, so yeah, they had white bread and American cheese, and like it would kind of be like a war, like Normandy, like every time trying to get to the grilled cheese machine. Okay. It's like the second aftershocks, like things you couldn't take off your tefillin too early because they would notice. Obviously. And they'd be like, oh, what are you doing? You can't take off your tefillin now. But then if you took off your tefillin too late, and also depends where you were sitting, whether or not it was close to the lunchroom. You have to like run to get like the white bread with American cheese, which by the way tasted so good, but your insides would hurt
poor
so
man's
much.
Bread.
Yeah, by the way, that is poor man.
But here's the question that I'm really having based on all this. So based on your whole Shiva experience, based on your whole Yiddishkeit experience,
it was very, very hard for me to have an outlet. Very, very hard for me to express.
You even knew the question before you even finished it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
How did that affect your creativity? How did
Because okay, you know how when you talk, it sounds a lot different in recordings than it does in your own head, which is besides for the fact that your vocal the cords vibrate, goes up to your up to your brain, which makes it sound more clear. Crap, where was I going with this? No, where was I going with this? I totally forgot.
I have no idea. You were saying it.
Goodness.
You were answering the question.
What was the question again?
How did your Yiddishkeit and your Shiva? How did your experience of Yiddishkeit in your younger years?
So in a way, it kind of affects everything. Like how much you critique your own work. Like let's say someone's into drawing, yeah, but they weren't able to draw in like Masifta, and then after that they were able to. It's going to take them a lot longer to get to the point where they feel comfortable drawing and more confident because of all that time they felt repressed. Like for me, it's
did you have that though? Because that's only some people.
Oh, for sure.
Some people can get away with it.
By the way,
their creativity isn't suppressed by yeshivas.
Yeah, and also like social experiences as well. Like when I was in camp, I know this is gonna sound a little bit different, but a little bit off topic. But when I was in camp, like back then, I was still going through puberty and all that stuff, and I would voice crack so often. Oh my goodness! Like the last thing people would ever expect me to be is a singer. And people told that to me to my face. And I was just like, all right, whatever. And it doesn't make a difference. But now I'm getting complimented. I'm making it I could write songs. I play a little bit of ukulele and piano. It's also. Besides for all those comments coming back to me, and I'm just like, You were wrong.
You proved all the haters wrong.
Yes, nah, but the thing is, I'm just waiting for them specifically.
Where are you, Mendel from camp?
Where's my clarity? I want
I need
it.
my revenge.
Oh my goodness.
But do you think it affected the
Yeah.
creativity itself?
The
Like
creativity-
not how you use it, but like the art that you do make.
I feel
How
I
does your
feel like I'd
Yiddishkeit
be very
in
very my Yiddishkeit. Like how, what does that mean? Like how
Like
does
your
Yiddishkeit-
experience of godliness and your experience of Hera.
Yeah.
How did that affect? Like how did you? Because we both have pop culture references.
Oh,
we
for
both
sure,
have
for sure.
the world's art.
Yeah, and
at
I'd
our
actually like to
fingertips.
find a way to like combine them in like in a
Right.
funny but uplifting way.
So how do you
imagine
go about it, I
imagine
guess?
like if someone was like I am God, but like I am Steve. I am God.
Yes, you have those memes.
But what was I saying? Yeah, the more I understand and accept how much God runs the world and how much everything is God's plan and all that stuff, the more I feel the impulse to write a song about that. And then I'm thinking, I'm just like, I remember literally 5 minutes ago when I was trashing on the fact that there are so many God songs. I'm a new person now. I was much older.
Podcast
I was
changed you.
much older than I was 5 minutes ago. Time is relative.
Of course. Einstein.
Einstein. Yeah, no, Einstein said that, which is probably why he married his cousin.
Anyways,
No, literally.
back on track.
Somehow.
So that's actually interesting. I mean, I find I also get if you get a good Chassidus it could also really inspire you.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But also
I just want to. It's just when you want to develop a skill, creativity could also grow. Sometimes, when you have a. How do I think this? You know how everything's different inside your head and much more extravagant and better than it is on paper.
100%.
Like children drawing. Let's say a child, you and a child draw the same thing. But the thing is, obviously, your drawing is gonna come out way better than the kid. Yeah.
Right.
Even if you don't know how to draw,
hope so.
it's gonna come out better because over time you just become more comfortable expressing what's inside your head. So the same thing for on a different level when it comes to music, art, and all that creativity. You get better at it the more you're able to express it, and the ability to express it is only developed over time. And if it's suppressed for a certain amount of time, it's just annoying because then you have to spend a lot more time. Which again sucks because right after Mesivta is where you have to start doing either more learning or figuring out what the hell am I gonna do for a living.
You have to figure that out anyways.
Exactly.
Let's have to figure out who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that stage. I honestly, because you're developing yourself, and because there's so much development going on in that age, I've find it to be really, really helpful for creativity in a way, because this stage that we're still technically in, although not for much longer.
I want to be 20 in a few months.
It's insane. This episode is sponsored by no one. Do you want to sponsor it? Let me know in the comments, and you can have your name read in middle of the episode. I'm going to finish this point I was making before the camera died. What was it?
Oh, okay, nice. Now I can't be distracted by myself.
You were being distracted by yourself?
No, 'cause the thing is, if I see
Yeah.
That's
But my point was that these years, this is going to be a weird thing to edit together, but these years that we're almost finished, as I was saying, the whole self-consciousness, self-development, especially going to Wilkes, which is very about self-growth and very much about discovering yourself, finding yourself, blah, 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 a lot of work on yourself and a lot of being in your head and figuring out who you are really helps you creativity, because most creative outlets are what's the word I'm looking for? They're like a personification of the human condition, right? It's all about, most of them revolve somewhat around expressing the human condition. And the more you understand that about yourself,
which is the impulsive need to accomplish something. Yeah, is that what you mean by the human condition? What do you mean by
The human condition, like the human makeup, like psychology, emotions,
Oh, for
and
sure, for sure.
like that whole thing, learning about all that and trying to figure out who you are and how the world works and how other people work. Knowing that, and art is just the expression of that. So the more you know that, the more easy it is to express, as you were saying. Which
The more comfortable you feel with yourself.
right, and it's more easy to express. It's more easy to translate.
Like something that's sad is, and I don't really have an answer to, is that when someone asks, like, who are you? Like, okay, who are you?
I hate that question.
Without saying your name and your profession.
Yes, that is the question. So, I think Mama Shpia asked me that right after I finished Miss Sifta.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, how the hell do you answer that?
I can't answer it now. Like, I still don't have a straight answer, but I remember back then I answered. Wait, he asked me what I want to do. I don't know. My point is, I don't know. It was something around that conversation, and I answered, I want to help people. I don't remember what the whole
but that's just
thing was.
Something that you want. But who are you? Who do you work for?
I don't.
Are you ladies guy 2217? Or am I don't know, for any Transformers guy?
I was actually gonna watch another one on the plane, but I ended up getting around to it. But the point is,
I saw Knives Out. Should I text you?
You did tell me you watched Knives Out, which is also a great film that I would love to review and break down, but that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
This is a Jewish perspective.
Do people do podcasts, but like from another state or whatever?
Zoom calls?
Yeah.
Yeah, most podcasting sites and like things online that do podcasts are all like video
I don't know whether
call.
or not I brought my mic home, but if I do have my mic there, I could probably set that up and we could still do this. Yeah.
Well, I told Mayor I was gonna do a podcast with him, an episode with him, because our regular conversations are very much like what this podcast would be about. So I was like, we could just do it. We could just talk, and that would be a whole episode. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah, there's also a whole mindset of like when something's recorded, whether it's audibly or visually, you automatically act different.
Yeah.
And I'm doing great at it, by the way.
So good.
There it is. You suck at it now.
No.
I feel bad. That was mean.
It's my first time doing a podcast
I'm a
on
big
video.
meanie.
Big meanie.
Sometimes. Most of the time. No, I'm just a big meanie.
I had like 3 thoughts of what I was going to say and I completely forgot all of them.
No.
But yeah, no, I was gonna say I was already planning on making a trip to Wilkes with all my equipment and doing another episode there. Yeah. Gonna get like Mayor, Jesse Brownstein. I don't know who else is a good creative person I actually like talking to. But I got you here. I was gonna do you, but I got you here.
What do you mean you were gonna do me?
Shut up.
I can still. Oh no, but you're planning on doing one with every single one of them, or?
Yeah, I was gonna do one with everyone. Oh, but I could.
Fine.
But I will. Like I am gonna.
You're gonna always come back to me.
I don't want. I will. I don't wanna like, say my predictions for this podcast while on the podcast. I don't want to jinx it. Like I see this podcast going places, but I don't know yet. It's gonna start off in my dingy apartment.
Yeah, and I want to get at least one song out there. I want to get one good song out there that's professionally made, just so that I know
Aren't you doing that?
Maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
It's a maybe.
Yeah,
I thought the guy was down.
Yeah, but again, I didn't get any text back or whatever. Not that I texted him or whatever. It's just
just no response from the guy.
Yeah, no, I didn't text the guy.
Okay.
I just didn't text the.
But another thing I want to do with this podcast is promote my friends' stuff. So
your friends?
My friends.
Oh, okay, fine. I thought you were gonna be like, all right, so mental boldness.
No. Well, he's an easy one, but I'm saving him. I don't want to use him to push the podcast. I want to build the podcast myself.
Connections.
I know. I'll get him eventually once I run out of like.
Once I make
on the 7th time I've got you. I'll be like, okay, I need to get someone else on the podcast. Anyways, the point. Let's get back on track.
Realism and creativity.
Which is gonna be everyone I speak to about this. I guess the point of this podcast really is part of the conversation because what I'm trying to do here is build
I'm just tired.
Yeah, I know that. When did you land? You landed like
Oh yeah,
You're right off the
here,
plane.
I landed like 11. Then but the thing is, I overbooked the Uber just because I was afraid that, like, let's say the plan
Yeah.
let's say the plane, like, went for like a half hour. So yeah, no, I booked it for like 11:40.
So, but the point of this podcast is to really learn about Jewish creativity and figure out like how to match the two worlds. B, to like connect to other creatives and like see what we can do and actually try to combine it and actually make Jewish entertainment and not one or the other.
Should have put tzitzis on Steve.
Oh, Jack Black is Jewish, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
I forgot about that.
Damn.
But yeah. Also, I should get Yossi Farrow.
Ooh, I haven't heard that name in a while.
You haven't heard that name. What is that supposed to mean?
I think
He's everywhere all the time.
I think he was in YKK with me. I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, this podcast really stretches topics. I just realized. I just like looked back on the past like 40 minutes and be like, oh my god, I do so many things already.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Thing is, the reason is because you have to get in the mindset of no pressure. The thing is, it is what it is. Everything is what it is, and
that's a good
it's also,
creative mindset.
It's also trust within yourself. Like, again, like what I was saying before, like how everyone acts different. Like the second the mic turns on, the second the cameras turn on, just because they're just so nervous they're gonna do something weird or whatever, or they're uncomfortable. But I'm slowly learning to be, like, more comfortable with myself. And
that's a big one.
I know, and again, it's impossible to be like 100%. Like, it's to be 100% at
Really?
anything. It's
But to be comfortable,
it's the same as
with yourself sounds
it's
like
the same as being a master at something. Think about it. It's very rare to be a master, but then once you're a master, you know how many things you don't know, or like it's more real. Like, hey, how do I say this?
it's
The more the more you know, the more you know you don't know. Just that's because that's why ignorance is bliss.
right. It's like the whole. Well, it's what we say about Hashem, right? The most truest understanding of Hashem you could possibly have is knowing that you can never possibly understand Hashem.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's part of life is understanding the clarity in that, which allows you to trust Hashem more, which again helps you be more comfortable with yourself, and whenever anything happens to you. Everything's connected. Everything is, guys.
Right.
You see this guy? See this piece of leather? Tiny speck of leather. That's God on a certain level with enough veils.
Honestly, but here's what gets me though, like a Minecraft movie. What?
Wow. Yeah. No. We made
What?
it full circle.
No, how is that God?
What? How's that?
That's what like art is so. I think art is one of the closest things you can get to God.
Some sort of answer for this.
Did you get what I'm saying? Like art.
Yeah.
Art is like very close. It's very close. It's a very spiritual experience. If you actually experience art, it's a very spiritual experience. And then you have things that are in the art category but seem so dumb. Content, in other words.
Like, okay, so what I was saying is that I don't know exactly where I learned this, but like, it was either put in a sheer or like, it was a Q&A or something like that. I totally forgot where. But the line is that let's say you listen to a non-Jewish inspirational speaker. Yeah?
Right.
Not Jewish. You're not supposed to be listening to him. You're not even supposed to be looking at that. I mean, okay, not some people. The thing is that if there's anything there that helps you in any certain way, and that it helps you in your Judaism, helps you as a person grow, then that part is a spark of Judaism. That the whole thing between refining the sparks. This is exactly what it's talking about.
Really?
Refining the sparks that are scattered everywhere.
Literally.
But in hidden places, and one of our jobs as Jews is to find those places and refine it in a way like let's say, like, obviously every kid's movie or whatever, or every movie has some sort of lesson, whether it's a good one, whether it's a bad one. If it's a bad one, then you have to be like, yay, that's what's bad not to. And if it's a good one, then it's something. Then you crap, what's the word? Like put it into your Judaism. Like I should have did a different word than that. Like but you get what I'm saying, yeah?
Yeah. I had the craziest one where I listened to John Bellion's latest interview. He did.
What is it? What's this?
As in, like, he did a lot of interviews, and he did a podcast with someone like recent, like his most recent one, like one as he came back, and half of it was him just talking about his faith in Christianity. I felt so guilty listening to it. I was like, oh my god, what the heck am I listening to?
Is that what inspired you to?
But on the other hand, I'm just like I walked away from that being like, oh, I was translating the entire time.
And by the way, that's even though that's entirely Christian, and even though that's entirely not us,
Right.
The fact that it inspired you to do something in Judaism is one of the sparks definitely that came from watching something that you shouldn't have.
Probably, I probably shouldn't have listened to it, but I was just like,
and it also comes from like non-Jews, but music is an entirely different scenario. Because like when you're listening to the music, you're kind of like connecting your soul to like that guy's soul, which means it's better to listen to like Jewish singers. Although
like
based off what I was saying before, like let's say you listen like if there's an inspirational song, but it's not Jewish singer, you could take the lesson to heart and refine it into your own life. But the thing is, this is all what you're supposed to be doing when you learn any sort of Torah.
Right.
The thing is,
you're supposed to do it.
But again, have in mind that we're only human and that we can't sit for nowadays we can't sit for like 10 hours a day.
Some people can, and it's scary when you see
that. By the way, it's
like how? But yeah, everyone's different, which is why I think I actually spoke to my father. I was like, I had to really like going to Wilkes. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is how it should be. Then I was like, why the heck is that not standard? Why is there anything else? And the way we understood it at the end of our conversation was,
we don't have enough free time.
No.
But that's like the main thing when it comes
to
like, like in Wilkes, it's just like the right to know.
The main difference,
the right to know and freedom to grow work hand in hand when it comes to those just few hours, which inspire guys. Whatever, but also you do kind of have to have a music room. You do kind of have to have a gym room.
Right.
You kind of have to have a woodworking room,
especially
if
at
you
our
want
age.
to give the people like the ability to grow. Like when I was in Masifta, we had a music room, and it was a room that they're like, hey, if you bring instruments, that's the room. like the keyboard you see in my studio, I had that for close to 5 years. Jeez. Like 4 years almost. No, never mind. 3 years. Overshot that by a long shot. Yeah. So I and the thing is, I picked up garbage like from around the shiva to how like get underpaid to do jobs. Yeah. So I did that for like 2 months. Like finally gained like $200 or whatever. Got that, and I was able to practice a little bit in a room.
So yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, for guys our age, I think that freedom is really important. But what I was saying back when I was speaking with my father about like why do you have regular yeshiva at all? I was like, if this is how we grow, if it's that time and that space, and if that's how we grow, then what do we need yeshiva for? And basically, my father was like, we talked and we realized yeshiva is basically aiming for perfection. As in,
wow, yeah, that's
you shoot as a kid, you're fresh, you're clean.
The goal should be you.
Right, but you shoot for perfection. No one gets there.
Yeah.
Yeshiva is basically almost designed, like I was saying, like you're almost designed to fail in yeshiva. Like it's impossible for someone to go to 100% of Sederim, learn like to do 100. Imagine if yeshiva was a video game. There's not a chance anyone could 100% that game. Like you can't do every side quest, every main mission. There's no way you could be perfect the entire time. But you're aiming for that, and then you're gonna fall.
In comes a person named Mendel Cohen.
There's some guy out there.
It's knowledge because I'm not talking about anyone specifically. It's just Mendel Cohen is just like
there's someone out there.
What's his known name?
If you 100% yeshiva, you're a tzaddik. But
literally, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You're either a tzaddik or you are the
on
most
on a,
boring
on,
person
on, a,
on the face
on
of
a
the planet.
spectrum that's beyond the.
You're just on the you're the most boring person. Like, you have no personality. No offense to people who want to sit and learn, but like, if you should try to do that.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's
no,
the ultimate
their
connection with Hashem, is
their
learning all day.
personality would be God, like which would
I guess.
which
Oh
would
wait.
which would
Yeah.
be, which would be
That's a
very
good
very
point.
very holy and spiritual, but like but again, it would be like very very hard to be with them as a person.
Yeah.
But again,
That's a
also
good
but
point.
again, like if someone does 100%, they're just they would be a nice guy to be around because because obviously there's parts of Torah that say like oh, you have to be nice, you have to be respectful.
No, 100%.
And the thing is that whenever I see anyone that does, it is very very like that. They're very very not by choice, but they're very very a little bit different socially.
Good save.
Shouldn't have paused.
Yeah.
They're very very different socially.
Yeah.
Which sucks because
That's just because everyone can't keep up. Really.
no, not because they can't keep up. It's because they just never. Because what I was saying before, they never had time to focus on practice being social, which sucks because when you're an adult, the thing you have to be is social, especially if you want to raise a family, especially if you want to have a job, especially if you want to raise your children in a good way.
Although I do think that is a little over prioritized nowadays. I was
What
speaking
is it,
to-
Judaism or being
no,
social?
socializing, being social.
Oh, for sure. But the thing is,
Like,
that as not good as it is to have your own time, a lot of times you have to push yourself to be social because again, like in order to be
Right.
good at something, you have
100%.
to get good at it. Like of course, like I didn't know chords. Like when I first started, I didn't know how to tell the difference between a sharp and a flat. But like before, but I put in a little bit of effort, and because piano is a very creative thing, it went a little bit smoother after that.
100%. But I don't know. This has nothing. This is really not even about creativity. But I was speaking with my Mishpir recently, and I was like having problems socially. I was just like, what is happening? I was like, do I have to do this? I have to do this. He's like, no, you don't. Like we had these.
The goal is to be okay with yourself and to be okay with the fact that that you're not trying to. One of the biggest things I was a big I'm still working on not being a people pleaser, and the thing is I feel like most times social anxiety comes from again this isn't definitive, but comes from being a people pleaser. Because let's say you don't care what anyone else thinks. How do you fit being social anxiety in it? Like, of course you're gonna be like it's between how you're raised, and it's between that and caring what other people think, which is a trait of a people pleaser.
But you have to. I had a hard time identifying what the thought was that was me trying to figure out what me trying to beat what other people think of me. Like for a long time I was just like, I'm not a people pleaser. I don't care what other people think about me. Blah 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 blah. But then I was like, oh wait, I'm still like somewhere down the chain of like the anxiety, somewhere down the chain of just like, oh, this, then this. Like, oh, that line right there, that's other people saying that. And so technically you're still caring about what other people think, even though on the outside, like, I don't care, I just don't want this.
Yeah, like the reason it took me a while till I felt like obviously I'm not 100% comfortable singing yet, like but I'm a lot more comfortable than most people, which is why sometimes I get compliments. I know I'm trying so hard not, and again, I'm trying so hard not to be arrogant. It's I really hate that trait, and it's sometimes.
But you do have to, so don't forget to accept compliments though.
Exactly.
That's
the
also.
thing is, I also have to. It's between. Like I have to be in between arrogance and being self-critiquing because I bounce back and forth, but I have to be in the middle where I'm happy with my work, but I'm not but I'm also like striving to be better.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, like I was thinking about this during Pesach, like it randomly came to me. I was thinking about like let's say I was explaining working out to someone and how because a lot of people don't want to start because they're just like, oh, I like it's gonna be a while till I'm there. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm just like, okay, working out is not about is not about just the end result. It's about being happy where you are and being excited to where you will be. And I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, that's actually a very very good line for life.
Interesting.
Like when it comes to anything, think
Yeah.
about anything, and just
That
like,
works everywhere.
It's and it helps a little bit with with anxiety as well. Like it's the goal is not to which like obviously like I didn't mention anything about the past there, but obviously you should learn from your mistakes.
Right.
But in a way that makes you feel happy with but in a way which makes you feel happy with where you are now, and gets you excited for where you will be.
I think that last part's important because otherwise, you can work too hard on being content with yourself, and then you get too content, and then you don't go anywhere.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. So everything is like there's a song I know from from a singer like Alec Benjamin, and it never got released, but it's I think I showed it to you.
You did show it to me. I forgot
The
what it was
the
called.
entire song. It's a short song, but it's beautiful. It's basically like life is a balancing game. It's everything you have to be balanced balanced. And then I feel like I'm gonna go on a whole rant again when it comes to drugs and alcohol. In of themselves, it's they're just things, and depending on how you use them, like again, just like what I said before about if you want to grow in your Judaism, you have to look for those sparks, and
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's cool.
Let's
Full
say
circle.
someone smokes, or very very rarely, but when they do, they have a upbringing, and they have some sort of awakening. That's using it for the right reasons, along with taking 4 l'chaims as well. But then there's an entire other side where people overdo it, and people just become drug addicts and alcoholics, and it's very very rough because balancing in the middle, you always have to be. And by the way, I just had a quick revelation right now. It's which is rough because when you're balancing, you have to be almost tense.
Yeah.
When you first start,
be on. You have to be fighting.
Damn, I'm on a roll right now. Hold on, give me a second. You're tense. You're tense the entire time. You're going back and forth, and then you fall over because you're tense and all that stuff. And it takes a while till you become I know how to ride a ripstick. And right now, when I was first starting, I was very, very tense. I was trying to balance. And then after a while, when I got used to it, I could do it smoothly. And the thing is, I was calm, and I wasn't tense. And because I wasn't tense, I was able to do it more smoothly, more efficiently, and only, of course, when you're about to fall off, do you tense up or whatever. But the point is that as hard as it is to balance, if you do it enough, you will it'll become easier, and it'll become natural as well. Natural. That's what I was going for. It feels almost
that's a great
natural
muscle.
to.
That's a
right.
great
like
muscle.
skateboarding
Whoa.
and balancing anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I had this it clicked when I was just oh.
That's good. Whoa. I'm really impressed by that. That's a really I wasn't really understanding what you were saying, but then you gave the muscle. I was like, oh, and then oh, it's perfect.
Exactly. And this is with literally everything, and it sucks because a lot of times people have a lot more than others to deal with on different plates, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, psychologically.
That's it.
And you have to do that all the time, which is very rough. Which is why people lead to burnout. Which is why people fall off because they're tense. Damn, I'm gonna get rich off this.
Yeah, anyone's gonna listen to the first episode of this podcast.
I'm gonna post on my status.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly, again, I'm being so meta on this podcast. I'm talking so much about the podcast on the podcast. But yeah,
Look into the camera. Straight up Deadpool and stuff.
Well, we are.
Exactly.
That's the audience. I really hope I click record though. I forgot if I clicked record.
I just find it funny. You're like, that's the audience, and it's just a camera. With
yeah. But yeah, what are we at?
By the way, makes me have a lot more respect for people that are great in speaking into the cameras. Because imagine how much of an idiot you feel just being so. I can't even continue.
I know that's why
you have to envision an actual person there.
That's why I wanted to do this podcast. I was like, if I'm doing this, I have to get guests. I'm not.
For sure.
Camera, because I was doing
just have a picture of Ryan Reynolds on the wall. Just start opening up to him. Just and then he did this, and then in your head you see Ryan Reynolds grab your shoulders, just It's
I
all
don't
right.
care.
I was gonna say it's all right, my son.
No.
No. In your mind, it's just like I don't care. And pulls on.
I don't
Pulls
care.
on Deadpool mask.
And runs off. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I think I really like these conversations, this kind of talking, and this kind of what's a good word?
Yeah. By the way, so is it, like you're gonna think of it later, but like
Yeah, I'll think of
when
it
I see the
later.
word put in, I'm just like, hey, that's not the right.
I'll
so
put it.
off.
I'll add it in post. It'll just be like no, and it'll be completely normal. But basically, this kind of talking, this kind of, you know, I can't think of a literal single word for this, but this kind of dialogue, I think that's the right way to say it, is so powerful. Like to have, I have no, and now I completely lost the thought. We're toast.
Alright, crap. Okay. Yeah, has it been an hour?
It has been an hour.
Alright.
It's been over an hour, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna cut this all
I
out.
really, really want to do more. It's just
You're good? You found a ride?
what?
You found a ride?
No, not that I found a ride. It's just someone else said that like how does 5:30 work when I didn't know about the.
Oh,
Uber.
there
But
might
the
be
thing
a
is,
ride
for-
at 5:30.
What?
You're saying there might be a 5:30.
Not that there's a ride. It's just like Dovey like said, how does 5:30 work? And I'm just like, sure. And right now it's 5:08.
5:08.
But the thing is, that's when he's like gonna be in Crown Heights. But I don't know.
Whatever, we're
I don't
good.
know if
I
he
have
wants to
enough.
wait for the ride, or-
I have enough to work with.
I don't know.
There's a lot
Is
of
this gonna
stuff
be?
here.
Is this gonna be in
So far, I'll probably put this over the credits, but the credits are gonna be like a second long.
This is a little longer than
That's all the things I have, and like
oh
everything.
wow, yeah, no, the recording over here says an hour and 9 minutes.
Hour 9 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay, I
it's
can
an
cut
hour.
that to like under an hour to like.
Yeah.
I'll cut it down because there's a lot of spaces and whatnot.
Okay, but by the way, no, dude, I would love to do this again. And by the way,
100%.
because the whole conversation got started, and because we had some sort of topic, because there's just so much, about it. Like, and by the way, again, please cut me.
I love this. I'm doing this because I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, and also please cut me off if I'm going on a ramble.
That's what I was doing the entire time.
Not to be.
I was just like, ah!
And I'm like, no, you're not interrupting me. No.
I was literally like, should I just go? Ah!
I'm like, please, I don't want to overdo it. It's you're interrupting.
Why do you think we're at an hour 9 minutes and I'm gonna cut it to 52 minutes?
Please interrupt me if I'm like if I'm saying that. And then you're like, hey, so I'm like,
No.
no, it's me. I want to finish. We get it. Like,
Well, that's what.
So.
That's why I think it was good. Like, I legit asked you questions, and then you could just go off on the question, so it still kind of works.
Chat. Listen to this. I don't know if.
I don't know if they got it. But also, it's not a chat. We're not gamers here.
Yeah, this looked a little
It's
weird.
legit, and this looks messed up. Hour 10. But yeah, let's cap off the podcast.
Okay, should I turn this
And,
off?
well, wait. I have to say thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah,
being the first guest on the podcast.
Yay!
Of many. Please, God. Please let this work out. I had a plan.
By the way, that's up to you to decide. All right, proceed to speak for the next. It's my Zuliker, all right?
Yeah.
All right, and and the more comfortable you feel with yourself, the more comfortable you feel with failing, because there is someone who's never failed has never tried. Keep that in mind. All right, okay.
Okay.
Good night, folks. Good night.
Good talk.